Thank you, Steve. My name is Jordan Curl. I'm currently in the Kingdom of eSwatini, which is formerly Swaziland, located in southern Africa. It's a small country about the size of Kuwait, about 1.1 to 1.3 million people, 17,000 square miles. The poverty rate that is about 75% lives under $2 a day. And it's well known for its specific cannabis strains, its legacy or land, what they call landrace strains, which is Swazi Gold, Swazi Leaf, and Swazi Three Rock. Chances are more people have heard of Swazi Gold or different crosses like Durban Poison. Those are South African landrace strains that have actually been integrated into Western, like American and Dutch genetics over the years. Basically, I've been in the country for over a year and a half now. I originally came to help with the legalization fight for 2020. What ended up happening is we've had a cannabis bill go through Parliament for 2 years. There's been a fight going on for the last 11 years, but 2 years there's been cannabis bills in both houses of Parliament that have managed to pass. This last year, 2020, instead of passing with no problems to move up to the signage of the king, there was pushback from the local parliamentarians over the concerns of a monopoly as well as exclusion of rural and indigenous growers. Now, when you talk about the politics of that, some people say that those were large crime enforcements or people that come from organized crime that had that influence. But there's a legitimate concern about people taking over and foreigners extracting resources and monopolizing the market here. It's not the first time we've seen it in emerging cannabis markets. It's not the last time we've seen it happen in emerging cannabis markets. So it's a very big risk. There was an issue here from about 2 years ago where PSIQ and another American company had either come here or met somebody of royalty, signed a deal for a 10-year contract, released a $50 press release, and then caused a whole bunch of issues when things didn't happen the way they were supposed to happen. Because they tried to establish a 10-year contract to control everything, and especially in the last year, it's actually come out. A few local journalists, Martin Zueli, who has actually done a lot of good on-the-ground research, actually broke the story, making the connection between PSIQ, another American cannabis corporation, as well as some other dodgy things that have happened. And it's actually picked up it's picked up traction. I definitely suggest a lot of people look into it a little bit. There's a big issue here because this is the last true kingdomship in the world. A lot of people will tell you that they are part of royalty, or they will claim they are royalty and make offers like they are royalty when they do not have the ability to do that. So my professional assessment of the situation is that somebody from America came here, spent a lot of money to get a contract signed that may or may not have been approved by the king, but then they decided to press release and tell everybody, and ended up embarrassing them, because then it came back around to show. Because one of the main issues, especially coming from the parliamentarian side and from people that represent the rural growers, is that they're worried that legalization will actually destroy the illicit markets, and that's just not the truth. Part of my advocacy and education work that I've done up here is trying to inform people not only like on regular cannabis, on the medicinal and adult use side potential and the numbers and the taxation available to it, but also the industrial varieties and downstream waste and processing abilities. I love Swazi cannabis. It is some of my favorite. And Swazis believe they grow the best cannabis. And Swazi Gold is amazing, but the truth of the matter is there is so many other things to do with this product. So we've been up here experimenting with hempcrete. We've been up here experimenting with organics, trying to get the farmers off of synthetic fertilizers, teach them how to pull males, sexing, basically just small, normal agricultural stuff that's not being taught or hasn't, because a lot of the information has been handed down generationally, right? And so now as we get things ready to go, we're attempting to do as much proper legal education as we can with the organization I'm here with, SCAN, before legalization starts to reopen for conversation. It was shelved last year for about 6 months. right? Because there was a lot of, like, normally it's a rubber stamp process. Somebody stood up in Parliament, made a big issue of it. We'd like to bring those people on board. We would like to show them the potential of industrial hemp as well as exportable cannabis. Whether that's on taxation side or whoever, we would like to push as soon as Parliament opens this year, as hard as possible, and make this the year that we need to do it. Because they've looked at doing industrial hemp through recovery, right? The recovery through COVID programs. So we're really hoping if we can somehow create a structure or give the government here the proper advice they need to go forward with legalization of any kind, whether it be medical, adult use, export, or or industrial varietal usage, then I think that there's like unlimited potential here, especially when you talk about the branding potential, the workforce, the ability, the soil, the sun. I mean, this place is known for cannabis. You can throw cannabis seeds into the ground at any single time and it can grow. So what we're going to basically do is, as soon as Parliament opens up, we're taking the indigenous workers, the indigenous growers, we are taking the stakeholders, the people that want to have license, the people that don't want to have license, the people that just want legalizations like the Rastas, and we're going to keep pushing, and we're going to keep pushing hard as we can, because I think this is the year that we're going to actually make it happen. And our goal here is to reduce liability and risk for your average farmer, because it is a way of life for most people here. It is what puts food on the table. It takes care of people's kids and family, whether it be smuggling or whether it be selling on the street here or whether it be growing it. It's grandmas and old folks that are doing it, and it's paying for their school tuition fees, and it's paying for food, and people are surviving. And the fact that they treat these people like criminals, and these people can spend anywhere from 2 to 6 years in jail because this is part of how they exist now, it's not right and it's not okay. And so we're going to keep fighting this battle, even if it's been 11 years now, even if we lost the last 3 years. It doesn't matter. The war's not over. Cannabis is a continual fight, and we continue to keep fighting until we win, because we're in the right, and we know that. We've known that since before 1925 when it became illegal here. We've known it since the 30s when it became illegal in America. We've known it since the 60s and 70s, since the Americans used it for racial reasons, to disempower the left and other movements in order to keep control, to propagate the military-industrial complex. We know why these things exist, right? And we can stop it now. We have enough data. We have enough evidence. There's enough change in society to where we can find a social, healthy balance of how cannabis can be introduced into our society in a normalized way, and people would be okay with it. And I think it's just taking time and effort and advocacy and a lot of people on the ground pushing, shoving information into the face of the people that don't want to hear it or don't want to hear it because they're making too much money. But yeah, that's our quick update of Swaziland. I'll keep you guys up to date as Parliament opens up and as things change, as well as give you up to dates around Southern Africa, because this is where I'm at. I've got my fingers in it. And I do appreciate and I thank you very much for the opportunity to be on your platform. It's a big honor to have this opportunity. So thank you very much. I'm very grateful, and I appreciate everything you guys have offered me. Have a great day.